What's up, gamers? Today we're looking at a NAOS tier list for Territory Wars. It's the first type of Territory War video, or video that I've done with Territory War related content. So we're just going to start at the top. We're going to start at the top, work our way down, and I'll kind of explain why I chose the units I did. Madao, they're good against everything. They're good against infantry. They're really good against cav. They're decently tanky. They have okay amount of burst. They have damage reduction in their brace. You know, there's a lot to like about them. Keshigs, best point clearing cav in the game. They will kill heroes better than anything in the game. Nothing comes close to Keshigs. It's it's quite ridiculous. They're super fast, so they're great at flanking. They're not as great against pike units and stuff like that, but that's fine. They trade well with Madao. So there's that. Shenji's hardest hitting range troop in the game. Again, nothing comes close. They have ridiculous range. They have insane utility from their bomb. They usually prioritize heroes and are just great at 100-0ing heroes that aren't expecting that damage. Axe Raiders, they're incredibly fast. Their axes hit hard. There's utility in their stat stripping, that kind of thing. You could argue that they go down here, but I think they're a bit more useful than Imperial Pike Guard, albeit it feels like they're squishier than them at times, at least versus certain units. They also have utility. They're like a hybrid range unit with a ton of utility, which is, we don't have anything else like that in the game. Coming in at the A tier, you got your Imp Pike Guards. They're, great, very crowd control heavy unit against units that can be crowd controlled. Super solid, great anti-cav unit, perfect for locking down anything. And then you got Winged Hussars, ridiculous damage on their charge when you can get it off. A little slow, but cav on cav fights, they're a must. Monastics are a great hybrid between Keshigs and Winged Hussars, where Keshigs don't really have the charge that Hussars have. Monastics kind of have a bit of the killing power of Keshigs in melee, not as much, and a bit of the charge, but they're way tankier than either of these units, and that's kind of why I put them up here in the A tiers. They're great to have. They don't necessarily excel at one thing or the other, and I think an in-betweener is kind of fine. At least, I see him do well in Territory Wars. And then Marty's, if you need one siege tower to land on a specific map, or particular couple maps, they're a must-have. You need someone with Marty's pushing the siege tower, generally speaking. Coming in at B tier, this is, I don't know, B tier and below, I'm just kind of like, I don't see a lot of these units do well, like B to D tier. I mean, 40s obviously are great at certain spots on defense, they're fine. Gray hairs are exceptional on certain maps, like Agolia on the bridge and just stuff like that. Like, they do not move. You cannot knock these guys over. They're CC immune, and that's incredibly valuable when you have somebody that's playing gray hairs correctly. And, it's hard to kill them. Liao's if you have a dedicated anti-cav person, Devastate can completely clear out several groups of cav by themselves, just one. So otherwise, or sorry, not Devastate, Blast, but that's top line. Otherwise, Devastate, Liao's aren't as popular anymore just because they don't do what any of these cav do as well. They're decent, but not too crazy anymore. They're balanced, that's it. They're just balanced. And then for the C tier, these units, they're playable. You can use them. They're not as efficient as these other units up here towards the top of the list, but they work. So PGs, they don't deal with cav as well as Madao, but they're a bit better against like Axe Raiders. They won't melt to Axe Raiders. They're a bit better against IPGs. They won't get knocked over. So there's that. Azhabs beat Palace Guards, Azhabs beat Madao. And this is all in a vacuum, though. Azhabs are hard to play well in TW, I feel like. And yeah, that's just it. I see them either do really well or fall apart. Sleetars are super niche. They're a wall defense unit, and not even a great one at that. I feel like it's too easy to CC them. They have a ridiculous amount of damage when they can do that damage, but it's just too situational when they can, and they fall over to Cav, and they fall over to Shenjis and Axe Raiders, and just all these other units up here just beat the crap out of it. Same thing with Iron Reapers. Iron Reapers can't touch Cav. They can't really do anything. Shenjis, before, no real ranged units really dealt any damage to Iron Reapers. Like, not even Tercios and Imp Arquebusers and stuff did too much, because they have like 1300 Pierce defense. But Shenji still hit him for 2000. So, you know, these guys just melt to Shenji. And Shenjis are ridiculously... And Axe Raiders. Axe Raiders beat them at range and in melee. So, Tercios are just way worse than Shenjis in a TW situation. And then Halberdier Sergeants are kind of like a mix of 40s and... I don't want to say Imp Pike Guards, because they don't have like the CC that Imp Pike Guards do, and they don't have the burst against heroes that 40s do, but they do okay against Cav, they do okay against infantry, they have block break, but block isn't really relevant right now because of all these other units that just destroy block or ignore it completely. So, I mean, you could use Halberdier Sergeants, they're just paper. There's 24 models, like, Halberdier Sergeants are just objectively worse than Madao. They might have a smidge more reach, but they will collapse to Cav, where Madao will be, like, full health still. So, that's the C tier. D tier, Pavis, just worse than Shenji's, worse than Axe Raiders. They can potentially stop Cav with their bat and bolts, but Shenji's will kill that Cav. So, you know, it's not... Stalwarts, just, you'd rather have Madao. Madao are better at stopping Cav, they're better at dealing with an infantry rush. Imp Spear Guard, same deal, worse than Madao, worse than Grey Garrison. I mean, they can cover up allies a bit better than Stalwarts can, but, I mean, and you could argue for their cover commander on walls, but, like, they're worse than Sleetars, you know, at that. Berserkers, kind of niche. If you're attacking, you can rush with them occasionally. Get them up, like if you have 3-4 squads of Berserkers and a couple of squads of Axe Raiders, sure, you can argue for that. But as a longbow player in a lot of TWs, I will kill almost all of your Berserkers before they get up that ladder. There's just, you know, unless they're short ladders. But, you know, they're too squishy. They have like 500 Pierce defense, and, you know, they still take like 7k a headshot or something. So, you know, there's that. Cataphracts, why are these? Get these out of here. Imp Archers, they're archers. Archers are not good in TWs. You can make an argument for Madao, but even then they don't have enough kill. They don't kill quick enough. There's not enough situations where you could use them, and Falcos, Shenjis, whatever, are going to do this job a lot better. Why is that in here? Okay. And then your situational, you know, Falcos on attack, pretty good. Falcos on certain maps for defense, pretty solid. Siphon Ori, when you can get them to work, are complete fight changers. You know, they're incredibly solid, but it takes one lightning arrow, one musket bomb, one thunderstruck, one anything, and they're gone. You know, this unit is squishy, 5k life and negligible defenses. This unit falls over to anything. And they don't have any percent damage reduction, which is huge. And then Shield Maidens are a must-have 1 or 2 of, I think. But no more than that in defenses and offenses, because the 250, the buffs are just too much. You know, 250 all defense is insane on a push. You know, 1 on each gate. If you're doing a map that has that, and or just, you know, cycle the buffs between Guardian and Freya's charge, you know, this unit adds so much value to a push, but you don't want more than 1 or 2. Yeah, that's it. If you're wondering why this X unit or Y unit isn't up here, it's because that unit is probably, you know, trash or not competitive with these units right now. Yeah, I'm just going through this list. Like, I mean, you could argue, sure, Armigers, if you're... But I mean, Armigers don't do what these units do, you know? They're squishier than Monastics, they charge is weaker than Hussars, they don't kill as well as Keshigs, they're slower than Keshigs. It's just, you know... I mean, that's it, yeah. If you guys like the video, you know, leave a thumbs up. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section. It'd be sweet to read your guys' thoughts and whatnot. I stream Tuesdays through Fridays, 12 p.m. Central, and I also have a Discord linked in the description below. If you want me to do any other territory related content, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do about it.